Hey everybody, Mike Steele here with Barbecue Champs Academy. It is so great to be with everyone this afternoon. We got some great guests lined up for you. I think it's going to be an outstanding show, and really looking forward to it. I hope everybody's had a great week. I know it's been pretty nice for us, and weather seems to be cooling off just a touch. The last week, yesterday and today, we had 100-degree days. But man, I noticed Thursday we got some rain coming in, and 80 degrees is the high, and I'm thinking, oh yes, fall is finally here. So hopefully it's going to finally get into that time of the year where it starts to cool off. It's been a pretty hot summer, and I know a lot of people was kind of hindered getting out doing some barbecue competitions and stuff. So hopefully everybody's going to be able to get back out there and get on the comp trail again. So prices of diesel fuel is finally coming down. Gasoline's coming down a little bit, so maybe it'll make it a little bit easier to get to the comps and stuff. And I hope we see more people out on the competition trail. I want to welcome those that are joining us right now. We got Caitlin, usually always one of the first ones to be here. It's always a battle between Caitlin and this man right here, Gordon. I don't know whoever's going to make it first, but it's usually they're going to be in the top 5 every time. Juke, we appreciate you being here as always, brother. Thank you. I hope to get to see you here pretty soon at one of the competitions. I don't have a whole lot planned from now to the Royal. It looks like we may have one competition that we're going to try to squeeze in. Got a lot going on here at Barbecue Champs. And anyway, so I hope to see you down there down on the road here pretty soon. Darian, thank you for being here. Lucas, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Good morning all the way from the land down under. I don't know if I've seen you here for the last couple, 3 or 4 weeks. Seems like I've been missing you, but we're glad to have you back. Mark, appreciate you being with us tonight. Mr. Lee Hickle, hey buddy, glad you're with us here tonight. For those that didn't see it, me and Lee got a chance to cook down at the Gator Grounds RV Park down in Bunkie, Louisiana. Beautiful RV park down there, awesome pool, great place to go. Got a chance to hang out with Lee. We both got down there Thursday around lunchtime, and just good time, fellowship, going out, grabbing a bite to eat. I can give you one advice. If there's one thing that I can tell you, is if Lee Hickle ever offers to play ping pong or entices you into playing ping pong with him, the answer is a resounding no, because Lee will absolutely wear you out with a ping pong paddle playing ping pong. So I told him the next time we play, I'm going to have to cut an 1.5-inch hole in the center of it, and then we'll play then, maybe to make it fair. He was playing me left-handed. He was playing me right-handed. It didn't matter. But anyway, it was great times down there. The BCA always does an outstanding job. Brian Lips was running it this past weekend because Andy and Lynn was away on vacation. They did an outstanding job. Carolyn does a great job of always taking care of us. And we met some great people. Lee and I met a man named Chris Wells, and it was really cool to meet him. I was at the pool and just sitting there just talking to him, and next thing you know, I found out he was from Monroe, about 100 miles from Shreveport, and we just kind of talked, and I said, man, you need to get into barbecue competitions. If you just now started RVing, take a look at it. We hung out with him. He invited him over to our trailer, and he came out and hung out, and I showed him when we was boxing up ribs and chicken and a brisket. So hopefully we'll gain a new barbecue brother. He's a super nice guy, and certainly want to congratulate Lee Hickle on his grand champion at Bunkie this weekend. I was fortunate enough, I had a second place rib. Lee and I tied in brisket. He won the tiebreaker. Lee had a third place brisket. I had a fourth place brisket. And Lee had a big first place chicken, and I ended up with a 10th place chicken. I finished 4th overall. I was trying something a little different. I went back to an old recipe in 2018 on my chicken. I had done good with that back in a couple competitions ago, and I was like, yeah, let me roll it out and dust the cobwebs off that recipe and give it a try. But it was 10th. It wasn't enough. And, hey, I was happy where we finished. It was good times. And always great to see our barbecue family down in South Louisiana. Kyle, thank you for being here, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, the cooler weather and cooking again. Yes, absolutely. Ron, appreciate you being here today. Man, we got folks just steadily coming in. Bobby, thank you for being here. Man, I think I seen you doing a little cooking this weekend. I saw you post a picture of your chicken. I hope to see you out on the comp trail more regular and having a good time with us as well. Come on now. Carissa, thank you for being here. Looks like Robert turned into a lobster this weekend. Looked like he may have been down on the beach partying or something. But certainly glad to have you with us tonight, sweetie. Cody, thank you for being with us tonight, brother. Hope to see you on the comp trail here one day. Let's see what Ron's got. Heading to Kennesaw, Georgia this weekend. Cool. Let's see. Gordon, bad connection on my end. Hello from Cleveland. Good. Hey, Gordon, how are you doing, buddy? Hey, Gordon, when this show is over tonight, if you would reach out, give me a call. I do need to talk to you real quick. And if you don't have my number, just shoot me a private message in Facebook, and I'll get it to you. Let's see. Yes, sir. Missed last weekend. Yep, that's for sure. All right, Justin, thank you for being here. I appreciate you being on our podcast tonight. James Dotson, thank you. The Freemans are freaking awesome. Excited for this show. Yeah, he's a pretty good guy. I think it's more Vivian than anything else, just saying. But, we do love Allan. So I've given him a couple phrases to sling around, and he's just a great guy. We've really enjoyed cooking with him and Vivian this year, and Suzette and I really have had a great time hanging out with him. So, Allan, thank you for being with us tonight. And Mr. Tim Woolridge. Tim, once again, brother, heartfelt for what you did for me and Suzette yesterday. That was just absolutely so thoughtful. You're a wonderful friend, man. And, yep, I'm looking forward to a great show. Next, we're going to get you on here as well. We just got to make sure you got a good enough internet connection that we can make that happen. Let's see here. Brian, thank you for being here, buddy. Kyle, thank you. Yes, Tiny E is in the house. This is another one right here, one of Barbecue Champ Academy alumni, Mr. Larry Dwayne Anderson, big grand champion this past weekend. Larry is a cook that you absolutely always have to worry about anytime he lights a fire. You definitely are going to know he's there. And, man, I tell you what, when he hits on all marks, he is tough to beat. So congratulations, Larry, on a big grand champion this weekend. John, appreciate you being here. I know you're up in Wisconsin. I'm sure you're getting some much nice, needed, cooler weather up there as well. Mr. Danny Ham's got a chance to speak with him for a few minutes today. Danny, we appreciate you being here as always. And I certainly do appreciate your support. Look, if you're looking for a full lineup of rub, he's got them. These Be Extreme rubs are absolutely phenomenal. Love the grilling dust. It's awesome. And the steak dust on steaks is off the charts. All I can say. Got some great product. Be sure to check them out at Be Extreme Barbecue. Vincent, appreciate you being here, brother. I've been seeing you on here a few times. We do appreciate it. And talking about champs, there's one right there, Mr. Terry Rome, the 2018 SCA World Champion. Appreciate you being here. Mr. Bill Purvis, thank you for being here with us tonight, Mr. Bill. I'm going to be making a little trip up to Atlanta, Georgia to do a class for a big corporation. I'm going to be doing a rib class, and I'll give you one guess at what rub that I'm going to be using. Mr. Bill, we're going to be using your chicken fried barbecue rib, Texas rib grind. You should be getting an order from Ellen, and that's going to be for that. So we're going to give them something that they're going to really enjoy. That is a great rub on ribs, brother. Heck, it's good on chicken too. So we appreciate you and appreciate you being here. Emlyn, thank you for being here. And Paul, thank you for being here tonight. Man, we got quite a few folks on, already at 39 folks. Mike, thank you for joining us tonight. Brenda, we appreciate you being here. I guess you got Gordon hidden in the other room. That's a good place. Y'all, glad you're here, though. David, thank you for once again. Looking forward to the show. Yes, I am as well. Talking about champs. Yes, we got not one, but two SCA World Champs in the house. Thank you, Marissa, for being here as well. Toby, thank you for joining us. Man, we got a lot of folks here. Dirk, thank you for being here as well. Greg, thank you. Man, looks like you had an outstanding weekend as well. And really, really excited to see you out cooking and tearing it up. Great weekend for you. That's who else we got. Brian, thank you. Listening and getting ready for El Campo. I really wanted to go to El Campo. We went last year, had an absolute blast. There's still time to get registered. It is an absolutely awesome competition. Joey has done an amazing job with that. I think it's the last of the 6 cook-offs for the CBA that was doing this Texas Heroes Tour. And there's been some great guys cooking that all year long. The CBA is doing really well. And I think Mr. Bill Purvis is in second or third in that. Bill, you can let me know in the points. So congratulations. You had a great year down there, Bill. James, thank you for being here. And Steve Crombie, hey, appreciate you being here, man. Absolutely good you're here. Paul, thank you. What's up, brother? Hope you're doing good. Hey, we got Miss Judy in the house. Thank you, Judy, for being here. I haven't seen you in a while. Yep. Bill second. So second in the point. So congratulations, Bill. Man, looks like you've got that probably in a pretty firm footing right there. Man, we got 45 folks on here tonight. That's awesome. We do appreciate it. Giving everybody just a few minutes. If you're still coming in, let us know. We're fixing to get ready to get to our guest. Just bear with me 1 second. I do want to show up one thing that I always do. We couldn't do what we do without our partners. Thank you so much for Danny at Big Extreme Barbecue, all the products that you've got, Prairie Fresh Ribs. I'm telling you right now, if you are struggling in ribs and you're wanting a good rib, I would highly suggest you try the Prairie Fresh. I've switched over to these in the last year and a half. I have crushed ribs ever since switching over to it. I can't tell you how many top 5 finishes I had. Check them out. You can get them at Raider Red Meats. Raider Red Meats. They're in Lubbock, Texas. They're part of the Texas Tech University. Call, ask for Kirsten. She takes care of everything. You can tell her what you're looking for on specs. She's really good about picking them out. Give her a couple of weeks to be able to go through their allotment of ribs that they get, and she can pick you out some good ribs. I've got a lot of folks that we've sent over there. Also, Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop, Mr. Brian Crawford. We appreciate him. Texas Select Seasoning, Mr. Wild Bill. Thank you for being part of our group here tonight. Gunnar Wilhelm knives, some of the absolute best knives you could ever come across. I highly, highly recommend them. Dustin down at the barbecue store, absolutely phenomenal. Great store, everything that you could possibly imagine, fast shipping, and all queued up. Mr. John Lindsay. And last but not least, my dear friend down in Lafayette, Louisiana, down in that area, Miss Gail with Daigle's Barbecue Sauces and Glazes. She's got some great rubs as well. Thank you for everybody that supports us. Thank you for everybody that's listening tonight. Got a few more folks coming in here, and that's just kind of what I wanted to do. Let's see. Do you order them online? No, Paul, just give them a call, and they will take care of you. Tell them exactly what you need. Let's see. As long as Tiny E and Allan don't show up. Yeah, that's for sure. They're both great cooks. And 623.10, yep. Prairie Fresh Ribs, an entire bottle of rib grind. Yes, sir. I guarantee you that'll get you there. All right, we got quite a few folks on tonight. Looks like we've kind of tapered out here, so we're getting ready to kick it off. I'm going to bring in this man right here. We all know him. We all love him. Always a smile on his face. Mr. Tim Esch with Tiny E Barbecue. Tim, how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, Mike. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Looks great. Everything is great. We appreciate you being with us tonight. And I know you told me this is your first podcast, so don't worry. Things will go smooth. We're just going to ask some questions. We've got 39, 45, up to 45 people just a minute ago on. We're just going to have a good time. We're going to talk about barbecue. And I've got a few questions for you because I'd like to know a little bit more about your background and how you got into barbecue. But with that, I also want to bring in this other guy. We call him ChickAPicow, Mr. Allan Freeman. Hey, brother, how are you doing?
Hey, Dad, how's it going?
Man, it's going great. I can't complain. I got 2 of my good friends on tonight. And
I'm excited to see Mr. Tiny E on here.
You ain't kidding.
I had to turn my screen brightness down due to all the bright neon on the other side of the screen.
I got you. Hey, whatever you got to do, you do it, right? So look at that fancy shirt he's got on. He needs some sponsors on it. Yeah, we'll talk about that at the end of the show. So smile, come in.
I've been off for a while, so I just had to put a little attire on.
Yeah, that's him. Well, at least it's not. It may not be the bright one, but it's pretty bright because at least we didn't have to go grab our sunglasses. So
hey, wait till you see the new drums. Jason redid them for me, so they're just it's great.
Yeah, that's good. Lee Hickle, smile, Tim. There we go.
I saw it. I didn't know I was supposed to put a bunch of trophies behind me for this. So.
Yeah, Allan's just got 100 of them sitting back there. Well, 2 great guys there. So let's see. We got a few more folks. Let's see. Tim, you bring the watermelons this weekend.
Yeah, I'll bring some watermelons.
He's going to bring them. All right, so let's kind of get started here real quick. Tim, I've cooked against you for 4 or 5 years. Always a great time with you. How did you get into barbecue, man? I mean, this is one of the things, anytime we get a new guest on, it always is cool to me, and I think people like to hear people's story of where they came from, how they started, and then how they got into the competition barbecue. To me, that's always such a great story. Let's hear yours.
Yeah, so I grew up in Pennsylvania on a farm, on a fruit farm. My parents still live there, and they run it. And growing up in the middle of Pennsylvania, in Amish country, the men did the work and the women did the cooking, and that's how it was everywhere. I did have my mom's parents, my grandparents. Every Christmas, my granddad would cook a pork shoulder. And it just always kind of like, I always look forward to that, or going over to his house and like, man, a guy can cook. So let me be interested in cooking. So I wasn't a big cook in high school. I worked in a restaurant, and then I swore I'd never work in a restaurant again in my life after that. But I always kind of liked cooking after that because the guys in the restaurant were cooks, and they taught me some stuff. So then I joined the Navy for a while, and I was in there. And when I was in the Navy, I got stationed in Jacksonville. My in-laws lived down there, and they had a smoker in the garage that they didn't use. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and get this smoker and see what I can do. And when I lived in Texas the first time, a friend of mine down the street, Mr. Juan Flores, he cooked a lot, and he had this rub that he made, and everything he made was really good. And I thought, well, I want to kind of learn to cook like that. So I got a lot of information from him and everything. Followed on, and then I cooked a little bit, and then when I was still in the Navy, my buddy Juan, who like I said, would mail me rub overseas.
Oh,
so
cool.
we had he said it's karma now because now I mail rub to people, and I've spent way more than he's ever spent on it. But
right.
So they had a rib cook-off overseas, and I entered it, and I won the thing, and I had no idea what I was doing. So I look back on, when I was smoking on the little green Brinkman and everything, and everybody's like, that's so good, and I look back and say, that's some of the most worst barbecue I've ever cooked in my life.
It's always good if you're giving them free beer, right?
Yeah.
You're the greatest barbecue guy ever.
Yep. That's what they say. Your friends love your barbecue because it's free.
That's it.
So anyways, I did that, and then I moved back to Texas, and I bought another Brinkman of my own, and kind of got into it a little bit, and then I saw Pitmasters, and I didn't know there was competitions or whatever. I thought, that's something I want to do. So I found a book online. There was a guy in Georgia, I can't remember his name, he wrote a book on competition barbecue, so I ordered it online, read through the book, and did a bunch of stuff, practiced at home, and I got an email from the American Legion and said, hey, there's a barbecue contest. This was in 2013. So I said to my wife, we're going to go to the barbecue contest. It was in McKinney. So we loaded everything and their brother up in the truck like you do for your first contest. Drove up there, and I had a little green Brinkman, one green Brinkman. I pulled in, and there was a huge smoker, like a 200-gallon tank. I thought, holy crap, this is it. What am I getting into? And then another guy pulled in with a bigger smoker. But that was it. There was only 3 of us, and it was unsanctioned, so I didn't know anything, So I stayed up all night cooking my brisket that, storm came. It was a whole big thing. Anyways, it was brisket and rib turn in, and I got first place brisket. Now, it was out of 3, so I think they kind of just spread the wealth around a little bit because another guy got first ribs and whatever. But right. I got a trophy. They called my name, and then right then I was like, holy crap, this is pretty fun. So then I went online. I found Lone Star. I didn't know anything else existed. So I think my first legit cook was at the Speedway in Kennendale. Woody's wife was the promoter. And I went down there, and I had bought a Weber Smoky Mountain by then. So I had a green Brinkman and a Weber Smoky Mountain. And I went down there, and I got a 5th place chicken call, $50. That $50 went right into my daughter's gas tank because she's always out of gas. But anyways, again, once you get that first call, it just kind of hooks you. And it's like, adrenaline going. But that's kind of how it started. And then I look back on that cook-off years ago. You go back on Lone Star, and I look who was there. It's like, holy crap, there was some big-name Texas teams at that cook-off. Now, the blind squirrel finds a nut, just like I am nowadays, and I ended up getting a chicken call, but it was a good day. So that's kind of how it started. And then I got into it, and then I want to say I said, well, I'm going to do KCBS. So again, way over my head, I signed up when they used to have those Sam's Club competitions. That they were hard to get into. You had to be on the internet and click right away to get in. Well, I got into one, so Chuck Falder and I teamed up, went over to Sam's Fort Worth, and we cooked that first KCBS. So he did ribs and chicken, and I did pork and brisket, and we were middle of the pack. He got higher chicken, but it was fun. We had a good time, and I just kind of went from there. And so I'll cook any sanctioning body, mostly any sanctioned body. Right. And, based on how, when I have time, where I can go, because my work takes up a lot of time, but it's based on what I can do and where I can do. But I like KCBS, I like CBA, I like all those different kinds of cooking types, Outlaw, each one's different, but they all have their advantages and
Right.
all. So that's kind of my
Right.
story, how I got started, and I am where I am today. So
That's pretty cool. Well, Danny Helm wants to know a question. How can you win in chicken when you don't even know what it tastes like? Because you are completely allergic to chicken. You cannot bite it.
I just learned this. I am shocked that
Yeah, he's never tasted it.
Never tasted it. I have no idea what it tastes like. I mean, you know, when I started, I would make 4 halves of chickens, and I'd invite a bunch of friends over, and I'd label them A, B, C, and D, and then they would eat them, and they said, "Oh, we like A the best, you know, this and that." So I would start to make it like that. And then you get to talking to folks, you learn stuff and how it feels, how it tempts, and what flavor profiles go together, and moisture and all that. So that's kind of what I do, and you know, I have no idea what it tastes like. My wife said, she's like, "You should quit eating your ribs and brisket, and then you'll do better in those too." So.
Dang! Oh, that's hilarious. Travis Hale wants to know if you ever bought anyone in a Calcutta.
Yeah. We all pulled together and bought Travis, and then I lost $50 that night. But
That's hilarious. Oh, let's see. Kyle says, Tim is one of the guys that welcomed me and my buddies as newcomers to competition barbecue with open arms. I was even lucky enough to share a pre-brisket turn-in Jagermeister shot with him. There you go. So
that's the thing we do. Our group, you know, Tim Woolridge had a bunch of us up here. We do a right before we turn in brisket, everybody does a shot of Jaeger, and that's our good luck shot. And some days it works, and most days it doesn't. But
most days it doesn't. Tradition's alive, right?
Yep.
Well, that sounds like a pretty cool deal, Tim. It really does. It's cool, like how you got started, you know, and you just kept working your way up, and then you know you love barbecue and you got into the competitions. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome. And what I like to do too is like
I was surprised to hear that that you're allergic to chicken, right?
Yeah, can't even eat it.
You can cook it and touch it with it. It's not like a peanut allergy or anything. If I physically eat it, then it's like my throat swells up and I am not comfortable.
Wow,
it's crazy.
Known me for a while. I did not know that you've never tried.
When I was a kid, my mom thought I was full of crap, so she made soup and put chicken in it. Told me it was ham. And I ate a big bowl, and I'm like, ugh. She's like, no, you're not kidding.
Breathe, son, breathe.
I probably did lie to her a lot when I was a kid, so I probably deserved it.
That's funny. All right. Well, Allan, I tell you what, buddy. I know you've had a pretty deadgum good run. We see all your massive trophies sitting back there in the back. You was rotating your camera around just a minute ago. You obviously got a couple hundred trophies back there. So, and I think you kind of shocked a lot of people right after Trinity when all of a sudden we see.
I thought I was being so funny.
Yeah, ha 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 ha. He's got Bubba up for sale, and he's got his trailer up for sale, and everybody's like, "Oh no, Allan's quitting barbecue." No,
in there that off to new adventures, and
yeah.
I took that email down, or that post down pretty quick because of the responses coming in. It's like, oh crap, what have I done? And it's like drama. Let's get this off there.
There you go. So what you got cooking? I know you sold your trailer. I know you sold Bubba, and you got all drums now. Jason's at Race Crew Drums has just completely updated everything for your new paint. So tell us what you got going on.
Well, I mean, you've seen my setup. You know, I come in, I set up 2 awnings. I have to roll Bubba out, generate. It was just a lot of time, a lot of work.
Yeah.
I'm not getting younger, so it was like, this is just getting to be so much work. I either change something or I retire. So we decided to switch over, and Jason a few years ago would not leave me alone. I was used to an offset and my backwoods, and he would not leave me alone until I tried a drum out. Finally, he just gave me one. Goes, cook your ribs on it. Well, I got hooked. Then I got my chicken on one. Then I swore I'd never switch and put my brisket on one, but then I tried brisket on one. It was like, you know, now's the time to where they're going to be on a cart. They go on the new trailer. All I have to do is drop down the little patio, push the drums out. I'm ready to go. So
thank you.
Just about got the trailer done. We're having custom sliding glass doors put in the back so that when the patio drops, that we have nothing but a full
lounge. Full lounge, yeah.
Yeah, full lounge. So
yeah.
Man, I'm ready to go now. They're putting the sliding glass doors in Thursday morning. And see, there's a cook-off that Rita is having called Back to Blue. About 50
Navasota.
teams. Man, I think I can pull this off. Get it done Thursday, load the stuff.
Yeah.
I could be there by Friday morning.
Oh yeah, easily. And here's the
That's
thing, you
Danny Deets and then off to the Royal.
yeah. Yeah. The thing is, you can get there now and just drop your tailgate and done. So that is going to make it nice. And I can assure you of one thing: you was not going to cook or quit cooking. I can assure you of that because Suzette and Vivian, they're like this now, and they've done traveled halfway across the United States at barbecue competitions. They're gone for hours on end. We don't know where they are.
Go shopping, don't they? Right?
Oh, they go shopping. Oh,
No,
Tim.
it's
Yes,
bad.
it's beyond. It's beyond. So we was in Ennis last year at the Motorplex,
Yeah,
and
right.
that
You didn't see them for like a day.
oh yeah, we're just gonna go down to Waxahachie, and the next thing you know, we find out they're up in Dallas, and then they go to Irving, and then they're like, we come out, where y'all at? And it's like, what, y'all done drove 755 miles. I mean, like,
They
what's
are
going
2
on here?
hours away.
Yeah, so anyway, so no, that you weren't going to quit, Vivian. I promise you would have made sure of that. But I'm glad that you got a new trailer. It's going to be a lot easier, and that's pretty cool. So first competition, hopefully you get to go to Navasota.
I mean, over the years, and I just swore I'd never do it. First it was I'd never get off an offset. Then I'm on a backwoods. Then you got to hear everybody give you a hard time about a backwoods. Oh, it's an easy bake oven, which is not true. I run straight wood in mine.
Right.
So backwoods. Then the drum comes out, and everybody, gave it a little bit of flat. But I mean, a good cooking machine's a good cooking machine.
Yeah, that's
So,
it.
we've just gotten to where we look. Those drums that Jason builds, God, they're just so nice and efficient. So now I'm on the drums, and we'll go just do all drums.
Why don't you do a like on the TV show last night? Everybody's going to want to make a drum now. That's the latest thing.
Oh, I saw that after Brad won the pork competition. Everybody's going to be ordering these freaking.
I always thought if I was a pit builder, which I'm not, if you could build one smoker that you could cook one contest on, and cook all 3 meats on one pit, which some people do, but it's easy, like a drum in and out, one fire, one pit.
Yeah.
Very small and compact. You would have something.
Yeah, that's why I like my rotisserie. I can't cook the chicken on it because it just, I don't know. I mean, you would think, man, when I first got it, I was like, oh man, a rotisserie chicken, this thing is going to be great. And I'm first.
What I like about drums, though, is you're able to come in and decide if you like a certain type of wood on a certain meat, then you're able to go with this wood on that meat, go with this wood on like I want post oak on my brisket.
Oh, let me write that down.
What do you put on your ribs? You said pine?
Yeah, a little pine. You use pine on your ribs?
All over the news.
Creosote. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Railroad ties.
He uses heart pine.
I like a hickory peach blend on my ribs. That's what I use. So, and the drum sets up well. We've been doing that for I guess 3 years now that we've been on the drums on the ribs. So same with the chicken. I use a blend on it, but all 3 of them have a different blend. Brisket, I'm going to have to maybe tweak just a hair. That I want to do that over the next 2 weeks before I get to the Royal, because I want that. Our brisket's always been strong, so we want to make sure we got it spot on when we hit the Royal.
That's good. Tim, what are you cooking on? You cook on drums?
Yeah, I have 2 gateways. I started out on the Brinkman, obviously, and then I have a Weber Smoky Mount that I bought years ago that I still use. I RTV'd the door shut because that hinge broke and all that. So it's been around for a while, but I still use it. For the longest time, I was on 2. I did have I guess a cabinet smoker that Robbie built me, Arno, and it was really, really nice. Vault. It's not the fat girl. It's the smaller one. I forget what he called it.
Oh, I remember him. R&O. Yeah.
Yeah, Robbie Pettigrew, and he made a hitch for me, and it fit in the receiver in my truck, so it was on the back. It was really nice. It was a good cooker. But then I ended up. Then I bought this other one from a guy in Tennessee, and it was a huge A-frame. Some of those things you see on Craigslist, that they take 5 minutes to build, and then they charge you a bunch of money for them. But
Right.
but my whole point of all this is I learned a lot about different smokers, different things, and what I tell people nowadays, they're like, I have this smoker and I want to cook 3-2-1 or low and slow or whatever. So what I've learned over all those years is you get a new smoker, you go in your driveway, get a beer, and you sit there, light it, and just watch it for a couple hours. Watch where it goes, watch where it goes. And wherever that smoker is happy, that's where you need to adjust your time and your temperature and everything to that. Because if you
That's
very
good.
true.
You try to make a smoker do something it doesn't want to, then you're miserable the entire day. I have two
When I used
gateways.
to my offset, it took me 2 or 3 months to get my backwoods down to where find that happy place for that backwoods, and then that's where it ran.
Yep. So I have 2 gateways, and I was the longest time cooking everything on 2 gateways. So KCBS, what I was finding, I was doing a whole KCBS on 2 gateways, and what I was finding was, it's all timing. And my pork was getting done way early. So I was struggling pork because I had to hold it too long. And the reason I had to get it off is so I could get the ribs on and all that. So, Philip and all those guys were, calling me Toucan Mafia and all that kind of stuff. So I was able to do it and I was doing okay, but it was a struggling timeline. My pork was struggling. So I brought in my Weber Smoky Mountain 22, which I look back at my notes when I was doing well in chicken. I struggled in chicken for a while. And when I was doing well, I was cooking on the WSM. So the reason, and it's more of logistics. So I cook out of a Class C motorhome. I have a handicapped scooter rack on the back. So my 2 gateways fit on there. The WSM comes apart and goes into storage. So I can't do a third drum because the rack's not big enough.
Right.
But the WSM, I don't put the water pan in it. So it's basically a drum is how I treat it. So so now I do my pork on them. I can still get my ribs and chicken. So it's a whole dance of the timeline. But I'm having better success in KCBS bringing in that third cooker.
Yeah. That's a lot of meat to cook. 4 meats on 2 drums is a lot to cook. You got a lot of juggling to do there.
There are guys I know that one of the big things, a couple KCBS guys have done in one drum, whole KCBS on one drum. I used to cook IBCA and Lone Star on, when I was between smokers, I cooked everything on my Weber Smoky Mountain, but I added a third rack. So I would do brisket, wrap it, put the ribs on, wrap them, then chicken on the top in a pan, and then they would all come out. But then like Allan said, though, it's all the same flavor, the same meat, and you're kind of restricted to that. So that's what I've learned.
On an offset, you're stuck with. I mean, with the drums, you're just able to customize only the wood flavor a little bit more.
Right.
So, and I do love that.
But mine, those gateways, every day they're 300 degrees. Like earlier this year, we were in Amarillo. We had 40, 50 mile an hour winds. I mean, they were blowing over porta potties, dust storms, everything, and I was 300 all day without touching the thing.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So, yeah, and Alan's right. I mean, you do have the luxury of changing and putting different meats or different woods. What wood did you say you used on ribs, Alan? Hickory and
with peach accent.
Hickory with peach. Yep. So yeah, I mean, it does make a difference.
You can overdo it in a drum with wood, though. You can taste smoke 3 days later from your barbecue if you're not careful with the wood.
Really? Right. Okay.
Yeah, you get that. That's where I've already got my chicken down, the ribs, and the pork butt. Been doing those in drums for a while. It's the brisket. It's that's why we want to get these next couple of cook-offs in before the royal. Is I've got to make sure I get that wood content correct in that drum for the brisket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've already cooked a couple on it, and I didn't have enough in it. It didn't have it tastes like something coming out of I don't want to say out of an oven. I mean, it wasn't like that, but it just didn't have that smoke flavor to it.
Yeah, what I always go by, smoke is like a condiment. It should be a layer flavor. It should not be the star of the show. You should.
Right.
There's a guy working.
It's an accent. You don't want
I smoke my brisket for 18 hours, and then you take a bite, and you're tasting smoke for 3 days.
Yeah.
I know.
Do you run a lot of smoke? I mean, does your brisket just have like a little kiss of smoke on yours, Tim?
Mine does, and then I finish it with some smoke, and that adds what I need to at the end. I would rather have all my stuff bland. Like a lot of people will try my stuff. I'm like, that's kind of bland. I'm like, that's what I'm going for. And then at the end is where you finish it up. You're easier to take a blank palette and finish it up at the end than you are to take something that's way over here and like, holy crap, how do I get rid of all this?
Right.
Well, you got to think about it, because if you come in, especially if you're glazing anything, and then you've got any smoke that's hitting that glaze wet, I mean, it just sticks to it.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can get a lot or a little. Just be careful when it's getting glazed.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, if anybody's got any question for these guys, we'll certainly open it up.
Don't ask me for my advice, but yeah.
Let's see. Make it to awards. Let's see. Cooking on 2 drums sounds like hard work. Yeah, it's pretty good bit of work. Let's see. Lee Hickle. Allan is probably the goat on chicken. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Allan got Lee called Allan the goat on chicken. Yeah, that's for sure. Tim is pretty good too.
I know when I'm at a contest, you always count on Mike Steele on Allan Freeman on a high chicken call. So.
Sometimes.
We don't know what happened. Somebody turned our light switch off this past year. We've been killing ribs, brisket, and pork, but on chicken just all of a sudden doing the same thing. So we had to change it up just a hair.
Yeah.
I think our profile just more new cooks are coming in. Our profile is they're picking up. They're using the same stuff we've been using for a long time.
Right.
So go back what you did 2 or 3 years ago. Look at your notes and bring that back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Cody's got a question for you, Allan. Tell us about your new trailer cook rig. So what you bought a toy hauler? Just kind of go from there. And
we ended up getting a toy hauler. It's an MPG. One was we wanted to make sure we had the dual AC. We took the furniture that came with it. They had 2 benches back in the back. We took those out. Brand new trailer, but then we came in and got American Door Company. We did not want a makeshift door back there that looked like I built it. Just halfway done, or it looks like we wanted it to look professional. So we got American Door Company to come in, and I framed it to where I had to come off the opening of the door, go up and come inside the trailer just by 4 inches, and then framed it up. And now I'll take it in Thursday morning, and it's a thick tempered glass, and I put a sliding glass door in, so that even if we go camping, we back up to a lake, we've got nothing but this beautiful view out the back end of the trailer.
Yeah.
King size bed. Oh, it's gonna be nice. King size bed, 2 TVs.
Did you say
stereo system? I don't know what I'm gonna do.
You said you're gonna take it camping.
We love camping, so like we're going to KOA. No, not KOA. It's Lake Livingston campgrounds. Really nice campgrounds. Going there in the end of August.
Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, Labor Day weekend.
We bought an RV 4 years ago, and to quote my cooking partner, my wife, aka Hot Dot, the RV is not just for barbecue. So you've got to be able to.
Vivian made sure of that. We've already made reservations in Biloxi.
Every time it goes out, does it have to be a cook-off? That's what I've been told. So
that's right.
Vivian told me that. I didn't believe her, but then we went out and it was like, there really is.
So maybe I should just buy a cooked trailer.
Yeah,
just for barbecue.
Yeah. All right, got a few questions for y'all. Travis wants to know: are any of y'all heading down to Alvord? Okay, yeah. Tim is. Okay.
I'll be at Alvord. So Justin and Benny are running that cook-off. We're going to have that Friday night. We're going to have an Outlaw members meeting there, and they'll probably broadcast that a little bit. Just a couple business there. I know he's having a steak cook-off on Friday night, jackpot steak, and then barbecue. It's in the 9, 10, 11 September, the weekend after Labor Day. It's always a good time. Last year, Jack Cashman and I were riding around in a kid's go-kart after awards, so it tells you what.
Yeah, and we're going to the Danny Dietz cook-off. That's been on my bucket list for years to be able to go do that cook-off.
And Justin's got added money. He's working really hard as a promoter. I mean, you watch all the stuff he's doing. The big thing he's doing is head cook-off. So who wins steak Friday night and who wins GC barbecue Saturday, then after awards, they're going to do a head-to-head. Justin's going to give him a meat.
Oh, that's that one where the steak will go against the...
Yep. A head-to-head. Here he provides the protein. You provide your own seasonings, and it's $500 winner take all. So state championship, and the best part about that cook-off is the official radio station of Tiny E Barbecue, WADT. Well, he's driving down from Pennsylvania and going to broadcast from.
We lost volume, but I can see the flyer.
There it is. And where's Alvord, Texas at, Tim?
It's just north of Decatur, about 10 miles north of Decatur, the home of Benny Koger.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's it.
State championship,
Two
and
thousand.
he's gonna have buckles as well.
Okay. $2,000 added money, 100% payback. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
That's how many. So tell us a little bit about what's going on with Outlaw. You know, I've
Yeah,
heard you.
Outlaw. Well, let me say this before we get started. We made everybody knows us that we were real strong Texas Gulf Coast in the beginning. Then we were just cooking nothing but IBCA for several years. Just and done very, very well. This past year, we set a goal that we were going to cook all the organizations. So we did some Lone Star, IBCA, CBA, which I love CBA because we've done really well in it.
Yeah, I like CBA also.
4 of those, and we've hit a reserve, a grand, and a 6. Then we want to do some Outlaw. We liked how I looked at their structure on their points. And it's always been this deal to where for Texas, they wanted to see a organization come together that brought in a little bit of what happens with KCBS and a little bit of what happens with Texas barbecue. And then when they all got together, Tim and all them, and put this together, it was like, holy crap. We've done 6 of those. Absolutely love them. I'll let Tim tell you about it, but as a cook that's done a lot of organizations, Outlaw, man, I love it. I love that setup.
Yeah.
And the first thing I will say is there is room enough for everybody. You know, there's room enough for all the sanctioning.
Volume went way down.
Can you hear me now?
I don't know if it's me or.
He sounds the same. His volume hasn't changed any.
Okay.
What's in your cup, Alan? What's in your cup?
Yeah. What are you drinking, Alan? Oh, he don't drink. I forget.
I don't drink.
He don't drink. So that's one good thing. Me and Alan don't drink, so we'll never get in trouble.
Drink, so.
I can't drink, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we formed Outlaw. A bunch of us got together up here, and our goal was to kind of, years ago, when and I'm fortunate enough to be in North Texas. It was with the Pruitts, the Ronnie Wade's, the Chups, Shivers, all those, and you'd show up to a contest like that, and they were like Texas Royals. And so what would happen is once you got to know them and they knew who you were, then that was like a big deal. So that was a good time when Friday night everybody got together, had potluck, and there was competition, believe me, but it wasn't like you didn't have guys driving in 400 miles to chase points or do something like that. So we're trying to get back to that with Outlaw. We don't have a points chase. What we've seen though is we've tried to combine consistency. So instead of first place brisket winning everything, you need to be consistent in everything to do that, and we add bonus points. Now we're still tweaking the scoring system. It's a new system, but we're trying to make it better. So we've seen people that haven't cooked for 4, 5, 6 years come out. We've seen we've lowered the head cook age to 14, so we're trying to get some high school teams in. We've had some of them come out and actually place in the top 10, and you'd think they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Get a bunch of new people come out like that. So that's what we're trying to do with Outlaw is and we're not trying to be, the NFL of cooking or anything like that. We're looking, we get a lot of backyarders come out. We help people so much when they come out. We will like, hey, come out. Two teams can cook on one pit. Matter of fact, for Justin's cook-off, my buddy from Hawaii is flying in and he's going to enter and cook. So
that's cool.
Justin's cook-off is going to be not international, but outside of the
United States. That's good. Tell us a little bit about the Outlaw Invitational that's coming up as well.
All right, so we just came up with that this weekend. So what we're doing, and it's our first year, so keep in mind we're trying to keep it important, but we're not trying to be too big, is on the weekend of 3 December, we're going to, in Granbury at the VFW, we're going to do the end of the year Outlaw Roundup. And what it is if you were a member of Outlaw throughout the year and you want a grand, reserve, or third, we're not going below third, you are entered in the invitational. So what we're going to do is on that Saturday the 3rd, there's going to be a double contest. There's going to be an open, which anybody can enter, member or not, and then there's going to be an invitational. So the invitational will be the grand, reserves, and thirds throughout the year. Now, when I say third, if the grand and reserve are already qualified, then it'll go to third. But usually it's just a grand and a reserve. We're not going down to 18th place or anything like that. So when you show up to the cook-off that day, if you've won a grand, You pay your $150 entry fee. We're going to have $10,000 added money plus 100% payback. So we haven't figured out how we're going to split that, but we're going back to the old way. In years ago when we used to have the pits in Texas, before we had the regions, so we had the pits. So you would have pit added money. You know, we were Pitt, North Texas. I forget the exact name of it, but you would go down to Waco and we would cook. And if you were a member, you would get the added money for the pit. So that's what we're doing with Outlaw. So if you're a member, and you have to be a member by November 1st, we're not going to let people show up the day of the cook-off and join and get the pit money. So $10,000 added money. We're still figuring out how to split it up. You pay one entry fee. It's kind of like the Royal. It's free to enter the Invitational, but you have to enter the Open. So it's $150 entry fee, 100% payback, and then $10,000 added money. We're still figuring out how that's going to go. So it's our first year. We're trying to do something for the cooks at the end of the year blowout. We didn't want to do a 2-day thing because that's an awful lot of time for December. But if we can do, so what we're going to do. So if you're in the Invitational and the Open, you will walk up to chicken turn at 1 o'clock, and you'll give 1 box of chicken to the Invitational and 1 box to the Open. And
Okay.
then when you do ribs at 2 o'clock, you'll give 1 box to the Invitational, 1 to the Open. And same thing at third. And then when we do awards, we'll do the Invitational awards first, and then we'll do the Open awards.
Okay.
Now, when you said 10,000, it's the 10,000 for both events.
Well, we're still figuring out how that's going to split to the Invitational versus general member. So that money's coming from all the Kiss Your Sisters we did this year. So we're giving back all that money back to the cooks at the end of the year. So when you go to an Outlaw, when you Kiss Your Sister, that money's coming back to everybody at the end of the year, to members.
Oh,
at the end of the
okay.
year.
That's cool. That's really cool. Okay.
So that's what that's for.
Okay. That is really cool. All right. Couple. Go ahead. Uh-oh. Tim, you locked up, Tim. If you can hear us. Can you hear us, Tim? Tim, log out if you can hear us and log back in.
It's always terrible. You never log out or freeze up with a good-looking face. You know.
I know it. It's always something. All right, so we got a couple questions. Alan, why don't you answer this? James Page posted B&B, charcoal, cowboy, or Royal Oaks. What do you use?
Lately, I've been using the B&B Competition Extra Large.
Okay.
You do have to break the coals down, but instead of ending up with half a bag of dust, you know, it's a little bit more work. That and Red Devil large lump has been that's a good lump called.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I don't want to go over, you know, because I won't say any negatives about any other one. I've never tried Cowboy.
Right. Right.
The B&B it's good, but yeah, I have to go with that Competition Extra Large.
Right. Okay. All right. And Mark's got a question. Do you spatchcock halves? Do you do halves or do you a spatchcock?
If I'm in a competition to where I'm only turning in a half, and it's either IBCA or CBA, I am going to come in and I'm going to do halves, overcut the skin, wrap it around to where that chicken is perfect. If I'm doing Lone Star or Outlaw, and we're turning in a half, it depends if we get into 2 halves. With Outlaw, you can do 2 halves. I mean, not Outlaw, with Lone Star.
Lone Star.
Outlaw is still just going to be 1 half. So
one.
if it's going to be 2 halves turned in to where I can put that spatchcock
Side by side.
Side by
Right.
side, I'll do spatchcock.
Okay.
I like how it comes out better. It's juicier, but
Right. Okay. All right. Glad to have you back, Mr. Tim. So, you there?
We get sponsored.
Yeah.
My sponsor needs to buy me a better phone, I think.
There we go. There we go. Always something. All right. So, a question was asked just a second ago. We just asked Alan, so we didn't really lose a whole lot. What charcoal do you like? B&B, Cowboy, or Royal Oaks? What do you use?
It's funny you mention that. So I have recently, over the last year and a half, been turned on to Jealous Devil.
Okay.
It works like a champ in my gateways. It's the same size, the same. You can use the entire 20-pound bag without anything in the bottom of it in a drum. And to me, in a drum and a fire basket, you got to have fairly good chunks for good airflow. If you have a bunch of small chunks, your airflow goes down. So I went to Home Depot. You can buy it at Home Depot. It's expensive.
for what?
Jealous Devil. Jealous Devil.
Jealous Devil.
Yeah.
It's $24
Okay.
a bag, so it's double
Yeah,
what
in
B&B
the red
is.
bag?
B&B's good too. Yeah,
Is
it's
it
a red.
in the
It
red
has some
bag?
dude with it.
Yeah, red
Yeah,
bag.
fist up on or
Okay,
whatever.
no, that's the one I said Red Devil. Yeah, that's the one that we've been using.
You
Yeah,
said Jealous Devil.
I buy it at the Home
Yeah.
Depot here.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
So
just
that's why I
consistent and
use
it's
that.
good.
You don't want all those little pieces. So
Yep.
I've used that one you're talking about,
Yeah,
and
and
then
for my
also
drums, when I do my fire basket, I learned this trick from Barefoot Reagan. Is you fill your drum up or you fill your fire basket up, pick it up and shake all that stuff out. Even if you have a blower, blow it out and get all that fine stuff out of your fire basket in the drum. And then you're going to have much better airflow because that stuff's not going to collapse on itself.
Okay. That's simple. Like it. All right. And another question is, do you do spatchcock chickens or do you chicken halves?
So I went back and forth. I now do chicken halves because I learned a better way to trim them. Based on my BBQ Champs Academy lesson, I learned how to trim chickens a little bit better. So I've been doing halves because I can control a little bit better. Spatchcock, I think you're kind of taking a chance of cooking one chicken the same way.
Okay.
It can go either way, but as long as you can hold the moisture in, you can do just as well or better with a half than you can with a spatchcock.
Okay. All right. So appreciate you. I know you took on barbecue champ. You took Lee's class, didn't you?
I will say this, and I'll say this about classes. I get a lot of people, there's a lot of old school people in barbecue who are like, we didn't have classes in our day. Our day was, you show up to cook off, you do this. And I have complete respect for that because I kind of started out with no classes. You had to work your way into the circle of the barbecue people. And then what I learned was somebody wins, you go up there and you spend the first 5 minutes after they win a grand and they will tell you anything because they're so excited. They'll just rattle off stuff. So you just listen. And then at night, when you sit around having a cocktail with the Pruitts or the Shivers or, the Keys or people like that, you don't talk. You just sit there and listen. And it's like a free class.
Right.
Because they'll be talking and talking and talking, and you just give them a little more whiskey. And that's how, when we started, that was your online class was.
That was the same thing. Nobody had classes. It was, you learn from picking up those tidbits from people that had been doing it for a while.
So here's what I'll say about
people doing it before me. Right?
And I have a lot of people up here who poo-poo classes and stuff like that. And I get it because people have been cooking. We have a lot of good cooks in North Texas who have never taken a class, and they are very good cooks. There's some people that are natural cooks. They put the effort in, whatever. But I kind of look at it as, you got to continue your education. If you want to, like I do KCBS, I do CBA, I go all over the place. Like earlier this year, I flew to California for work. They had a double out there in Santa Barbara. I called the promoter. He got me 2 gateways, and I did a KCBS double in January. Meat Hustler shipped me the meat to the hotel, and I did a double out there just because I was out there. So you have to get out. You have to do all that kind of cooking. But I think if you don't take classes, you're going to kind of stagnate in your own little area, and you're going to get frustrated. Now, don't get me wrong. That's the people that go out for a couple weekends a year. It may not be worth it. But, I have taken classes before, and I have won that money back within the next 2 weeks, like nobody's business. So it's like continuing education for anything you're doing in your life. If you're a real estate agent, you're doing whatever, you have to continually keep up with what's going on. Or you don't have to,
Right.
Like we had never taken classes. There weren't any classes.
Right.
After I'd already earned my bones and we were doing quite well, I went and took one class. It was Don and Jen Canterbury and Craig Sherry right in their peak of, just if they went somewhere, they were winning. And went and took the class, and it was what I learned is I had already, being friends with them, picked up the knowledge that they gave me in little tidbits over the years. Really what I wanted to do is watch them cook up close because we were already doing well.
And there's a couple
got a little bit better than, like myself and a couple other guys. We've been given classes. I've been giving classes for about the last year and a half, but I was looking to go take LC's class, or I may want to try to take Lee's just because it does shift and you do want to continue the knowledge. Now that they're up there, take them.
Yeah, I don't think there's shame in taking a class, especially in today's barbecue. Now, I don't see that as a stigma. But here's what I will say about the classes. You have 2 different people that take classes. You have recipe hunters, and then you have people that actually want to learn. So I take notes. Like I've been to a couple classes. I mean, some of the best I've been to are from some of the best in the business, and I've taken 6, 8, 12 pages of notes. But I bring them home, and I don't follow verbatim wrote what they do. I apply that to my thing. Like I took a class from a guy, and I won't say his name, Fred Robles, but he cooks on a Jambo. And 2 weeks later, I had a GC or a RGC because Fred beat me in the grant. I took one of the best ones I took was Clarence Joseph's years ago, and he made you bring your own pit and your own stuff, and he's like, cook one your way, one my way. And Clarence is a great teacher, so it does a couple things. It gets you to meet a bunch of people in barbecue, and as long as you're not a recipe chaser, going there just to like write down what he does, and that'll last you for 2 or 3 cook-offs, and then
right, it's gonna change.
You need techniques and apply it.
You want all the techniques. It's techniques. 90%. I've always said this. 80% of your cook-off is going to be technique and timing.
Yeah. Yep. So here's what Clarence Joseph told me this, and it's true today. He said it's 50% prep, 40% execution, and 10% luck. And if you can control 90% of your destiny every weekend, you're going to do all right.
That's it. 100%.
I've heard Clarence at CJ's class was really good.
Very good. And I will give a shout out to my good friend Donnie Teal. I took his class, and then I went to the Royal after that, and I got a rib call the first time I went to the Royal, and I had a rented RV. I had no idea what I was doing. I was freaking out. They called my name up on the stage, and to this day, I still don't remember it because I kind of like blacked out for the whole time.
That's funny. That's funny. All right, Tim, we got a question for you. What's the key? Cody wants to know. Go ahead and explain. You was talking just a minute ago about Kiss Your Sister.
Okay, Kiss Your Sister is similar in KCBS. They call it the Wild Child. So basically, what we do is if you sign up when you get your boxes in Outlaw, and you pay $20, what happens is that cook-off is paying top 10. Then the 11th place person in whatever meet we draw at before awards gets the half of that pot. So let's say we get $200. For Kiss Your Sister, and we draw the bung, and it's 11th place ribs. So whoever gets 11th place ribs wins the $100, and then Outlaw keeps the other $100. So it's like you don't want to bet on yourself. Like I'll give you a good example. My good friend Chuck Falder, we were in Keller, and they're coming around with this brisket pot. I'm like, hey, you want to get 11th place brisket? He's like, I ain't betting on myself to get 11th place. And we all gave him a hard time. He paid $20, and guess who got $400 for 11th place brisket?
Right.
My lucky friend Chuck Falder, who does that all the time. So, anyways, the Kiss Your Sister is what we do. Yeah, and Brian Erb has won it 2 or 3 times in Outlaw and everything. But it's one out of the money. So if we're paying top 5, 6th place gets it. It's a random meat, and we don't announce the meat till the cook's meat because if you know you're a good rib cook and the meat's ribs, you're not gonna pay into it. So we're trying to get everybody to pay in. And then the thing is, we give it back at the end of the year in our roundup. The cooks are going to get their money back like the pit. So that's what we do.
And you take the other half, and it goes toward the invitational, as Richie was telling us. You got to keep that.
Yeah, that's part of the 10K.
Yeah, you're giving the money back. You're giving the money back. Yeah, that's cool. Lee wants to know, did his class pay off for you?
So I said I had a couple of classes. I won a GC after Clarence's. I won an RGC after Fred's. I won some stuff at the Royal after Donnie's. I will say, Lee, I got only an RGC after Lee's class, but that's okay.
But I know one thing, you've been tearing up chicken, and that's pretty good.
Lee has helped me a lot with chicken, especially since I can't eat it. But it was one, I will tell you this, I did Lee's class, and I'll say this on the barbecue champs, and it's great because I can go back and reference it. The 2 things it gave me, there was 2 pieces of information in that class that I implemented, and it made a huge difference. Just 2 little pieces that I was missing. I don't use his ribs. I don't use I use some of his brisket or whatever. So I don't use his entire thing, but the chicken.
The techniques. It's the techniques.
And the chicken has brought me up enough that my other stuff, it's really stepped up my game. So
yeah. The beauty about our classes is, just like you said, you have the ability to go back and watch them over and over and over. And you go to a cooking class.
Tim is a seasoned cook, so he's picking up some new techniques.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
To where it may have been off, and the class has paid for itself.
Right.
So his class has paid for himself just in chicken, probably 2 to 3 times what I paid for the class.
Yeah.
Just in chicken.
Like me, I'm considering Lee. Robert's really been killing it. And me, we've been around for a while. I know what I'm doing, but I'm still wanting to end up taking
Techniques.
class?
You can teach
Yeah.
an old dog new tricks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can always keep learning.
Yeah. Matt Walker once said, if you're not taking a class every year, you're not progressing. He said, just like he's a master electrician, he said, every year I still take a class to perfect what I'm doing. And, it's the same thing in barbecue. If you're not taking a class, learning different techniques, learning the things that, something you think you've got it all, and then all of a sudden somebody shows you something different and go, wow, I can use that. And it helps you, just like
Yeah.
you just got through saying in chicken. So,
And here's another thing I'll say is you can take too many classes. I've seen guys take like 4 or 5 a year, and then it screws you in the head. You don't know where you're going after you've done that. So,
Study what you want. Take one,
Yeah.
maybe two. Don't
Right.
sit there and start looking at a bunch of classes.
Don't recipe hunt. Don't recipe hunt. Look for techniques and apply it to how it goes when you. So to me, that's how you get to be a better cook, is applying what you've learned, not copying somebody else.
Yeah, 100%. Well, guys, I tell you what, I've really enjoyed the show. We're about at our hour mark. I think we've covered about everything. I know that Alan's going to get a chance to go to the American Royal. The Royal. Yeah.
Yeah, we waited for years. I mean,
Okay.
I bet we've been invited. We've made the invitational probably for the last 12 years. I only have me. Vivian cannot go to the Royal. So I've never been able to go. I wasn't going to attempt it by myself. This year,
I do one man KCBS all the time. Don't be scared.
That's right. Don't be scared.
I do my own turn-ins most of the time.
It's fine at any other KCBS event. We've done a few. I just don't want to do the Royal. We ended up, our spot is 9:30:27. I'm as far away as you can get.
Don't be scared.
Just run. Run, Alan. Run. Run.
I forgot you got the high-vis gear on, so people will think you work in construction with your uniform.
That's right. Oh, goodness gracious. See, Alan is getting a chance to go to the American Royal. It'll be the first time he's ever got a chance to go, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
All these years, we've done all these big events, and I have not done the Royal.
Yeah, that's for sure. A lot of fun. And Tim's already cooked one, so I'm going again this year. It's going to be. I've never cooked outside the American. I've never cooked a KCBS event outside the American Royal. First time I ever cooked a KCBS was in 2017 at the American Royal. We waited 4 years. We went back again last year. Had a great time. Definitely going back again this year. We got more friends. We know more people now. I had only been cooking a couple years when we went in 2017, so we're really expecting it. Great.
Remember, take a banner. Barbecue Champs Academy.
Yeah, that's it. I'm going to let them know it.
Me and my sponsor are going to the Royal this year as well.
Yeah, let's talk.
The first year I went, we rented a damn RV. It had ants and stuff in it. I had no idea what I was doing, but I got a call and I freaked out. So now that I have my RV and I know a little bit more what I'm doing, I probably won't get any calls. So that's how it works. But we're doing that. I'm also in the trig chase as well, so I'm headed to Lubbock this weekend for the number 4 out of that, and then the 5th one is I think in October down in Tomball. So I'm into that. So I enjoy the KCBS, the structure of it, but I enjoy all the other sanctioning bodies as well. So I just like to cook.
Tim, you want to talk about your sponsors real quick? Thank them. Go ahead.
So here's what I'll say about sponsors. Everybody gives me crap, and I do, me, myself, and I do not. First of all, I know guys who have sponsors work hard to get those sponsors. I appreciate those sponsors. I mean, guys give me stuff all the time. I use LC stuff. I use Texas Oil Dust. I use rib grind. I get a lot of that for good. And bovine, Big Country bovine is what I use on brisket. That's been hitting a lot. So I do have guys that here and there give me some stuff like that. But I kind of did it as a joke to begin with, because I have a little bit of sarcastic bone in me. But, me, myself, and I has become a big deal. So if I ever do I do have an official radio station, WADT. But if I ever do get, some sponsors or team members, I would welcome that, but it's got to be the right situation. I got to make sure I can provide what that sponsor wants, because of my work and travel and everything, I can't always be everywhere that they need me to be. So that's what it is. But
there you go. All right. Alan, you got any sponsors that you want to thank?
Jason Sagmiller, Race Crew Barbecue. Race Crew drums, love those. Love them to death. And then, I could not do half of what I do without Dustin Stanley and the barbecue store. They are. It could be that I forgot a spice. I need it tomorrow. whether they overnight, they make sure you get your shipments.
I love their
Right.
sign that says guns, and then underneath it, inside the barbecue store.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
funny.
Yeah, it's the only barbecue store they got guns, barbecue, and a boutique.
Yeah, I went
That's
there
it.
the other week when I went down to Hempstead for the CBA down there, and we went in there, and it was really cool. Those guys took really good care of us down there.
Your wife can go do a little shopping with Alana. She owns the boutique. Plus, she does everything for the barbecue store. Dustin doesn't do anything. I mean, he's now just a picture on a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they are probably if there's something they don't have and you want it, let them know what you're going to be ordering, about how much, and they will stock it for you. I mean,
I
There
guess
you go.
you got Crawford's as a sponsor also. Is that correct?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I will say Crawford sponsored me down in Cedar Park. He gave my wife a shot of Blanton, so I was technically sponsored by Crawford's at one point.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate it so much. Go ahead.
Great time.
Who?
I was just going to say,
Oh,
so
great
thank
time. Yep.
you,
Well, we appreciate
Rexford.
you.
Thank you, Dustin.
Thank y'all so much for being on the show. I hope everybody's enjoyed it. Tim, man, thank you for being on here, and glad to be your first podcast that you've ever done. I think you did a great job. Everything was great. Alan, as always, thank you, brother.
I made it through.
it's-
I made it through without swearing. So
That's it. You did good. You did
Thank you.
good.
Thank
So
you, bro.
Okay, so I guess I'll see you at Danny Deets, right? You're coming down, right, Mike?
I'm
Danny
not
Deets?
real sure. I may go somewhere. I may go to Alfred now. Who knows? I
Navy
haven't
Seal.
decided.
You got to get that Navy SEAL paddle.
I know. I'm trying to decide. So anyway, well, guys, I appreciate y'all being
Yeah.
on here so much. Thank y'all. We've got some great folks that's been on here tonight. We appreciate y'all staying with us. I really want to thank once again all of our partners and sponsors and everybody. We so appreciate it. We're glad that everybody was with us. We appreciate you taking a little bit of your time out this week to be with us. We're going to have another great show for you next Tuesday night, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. Be sure to tell your friends. Y'all go out there.